Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtadar Khan, your host, and have some tremendously great news, fantastic news. Uh, all parties have agreed to a ceasefire. The United States will not be destroying the civilization from 8 p.m., that is 15 minutes from now. And it is absolutely wonderful that both parties, Iran as well as the United States, have agreed to a lull, a ceasefire, and let me a 2 week ceasefire, which will allow the two parties to basically go ahead and plan on ending the war, negotiations for ending the war. So I'm going to share with you how this happened. This is an initiative taken by the Prime Minister, and I mean, the Pakistan has two heads of government these days. So General Asim Munir and Prime Minister, or rather Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif took this initiative. As you can see, diplomatic efforts for peaceful settlement of the ongoing war in the Middle East are progressing steadily, strongly, and powerfully, with potential to lead to substantive results in near future. To allow diplomacy to run its course, I earnestly request President Trump to extend the deadline for 2 weeks. Pakistan, in all sincerity, requests the Iranian brothers to open the Strait of Hormuz for a corresponding period of time for 2 weeks as a goodwill gesture. So this was a sticking point, that the Iranians were unwilling to essentially open the Strait of Hormuz without end of war. And that is why for the last 2 or 3 days there was no progress on the diplomatic effort. So this is an initiative and an idea taken forward by the Pakistani leaders. We also urge all warring parties to observe a ceasefire everywhere for 2 weeks to allow diplomacy to achieve, etc., etc. And then Donald Trump responds to it in this way. He said, based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir, he spelled their names and everything correct. So this was like proofread before it was posted, of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran and subject to the Islamic blah, blah, blah. Agreeing to complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. So this was the sticking point, as we said. This was the key thing for Donald Trump, to open the Strait of Hormuz. And let me share with you what the immediate impact of that was. This morning, if you recall, the price of oil was around 112. And the moment the ceasefire was announced, it dropped to 92. If you like, I took this like 5 minutes before I started this show, so you can see the impact right away. The price of oil has Brent oil has dropped by close to 18, or rather $20. You could say that is amazing, and I think it will go down further if actually ships start flying out of the Strait of Hormuz. If a large number of ships come out of the Strait of Hormuz, I think you will see it may not go all the way back to what it was around 60, 65, but it's quite possible that you might see it dropping below $80 even. So anyway, coming back to Donald Trump, he obviously said this is conditional, that this is a two double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing that, we've already met and exceeded. So if you cut off all of this, it says that they're going to negotiate the final terms. And of course, there are some tricky matters here. The Iranians also, Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister of Pakistan, who's of Iran, who's come out as a giant and has become a leader. I hope he basically comes to the helm of Iran. He's a voice of moderation, sense, etc., etc. So he says, on behalf of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I express gratitude and appreciation for my dear brothers, Prime Minister of Pakistan, etc. He acknowledges. If you notice, both the United States as well as the Islamic Republic of Iran have recognized Shehbaz Sharif and Asim Munir in their opening sentence itself. And to me, this is a big win for Pakistan also. So he says that in response to the brotherly request of, again, mention Sharif, etc., we have this 10-point framework. If attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease the defensive operations. For a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible, etc. So it's actually quite a practical statement that you have to do coordination with Iran, obviously, and technical limitations. They have not said whether they will charge any toll for these ships while they're going through. I guess all of that will happen in the final peace talks. I wouldn't be very surprised if Donald Trump comes out uh, through this negotiation saying that Iran and the United States are going to share the toll that will be collected from the Strait of Hormuz, and what the United States collects will go towards the cost of the war for the United States, and what Iran collects will go towards the cost of reconstruction for all the damage that was done in Iran. Now, there are two or three points I want to make here, which are very critical. Number one, this is a huge, huge victory for the Islamic regime of Iran. The war started with the sole purpose of not just weakening Iran, but also creating a regime change and replacing the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now, that is off the table because if the United States is going to have a final status talks with the Islamic Republic of Iran, with the Islamists in power, they can't say, okay, we are going to agree to 10 points. Point number one is you should be out of power. Someone else should take over. Maybe it's a clown that we have here sitting in Washington, D.C. That clown is going to come and become a king. And then after that, we also want to make sure that you implement the 9 other points that we agree upon. How is that going to happen? So whatever agreement is going to come out between Iran and the United States, that agreement will be implemented by the Islamic regime of Iran, which means that Iran, in the Islamic regime of Iran, has now become America's partner in peace. This is amazing, and I don't know whether Mr. Trump has realized what he has done. So this is the end of the demands for regime change in Iran. That's number one. And number two, what is also fascinating is that is there any chance that there will be final status agreement? I can understand that the havoc that the Israelis and the Americans were causing, especially the destruction of the petrochemical factory and the aluminum factory, which are some of the biggest industrial houses of Iran, the damage that was done to that has probably led to Iran finally agreeing to this ceasefire. I'm sure there will be frantic efforts on both sides to, over the 2 weeks, not only dialogue, but also accumulating weapons and preparing for war if the ceasefire does not hold. Another point that is of concern really is will Israel abide by these terms and conditions? If Donald Trump agrees, fine, the United States will hold its fire, but will Israel continue to avoid? What if Israel gets a great opportunity to kill Abbas or Arakchi or this or that? They love killing people. So if they get a chance to maybe bomb an Iranian school full of children, whatever Israel wants to do, will it hold itself back? Can Donald Trump guarantee that Israel will also abide by the ceasefire? That is the key question, really. And we will see how that unfolds in the next 12 days. We have seen that the ceasefire in Gaza, even after that happened, Israel has killed really hundreds and hundreds of people in Gaza and destroyed a lot of infrastructure, even after the so-called ceasefire was agreed upon in that particular battle. But let's see, maybe the stakes are so high here that Donald Trump, after having invested so much for Israel, will feel emboldened to tell Netanyahu, stop. This is also a big win for Pakistan. First of all, its diplomatic stature has gone through the roof. It has become very important. I think Prime Minister Modi in India is going to regret going to Tel Aviv and to going to Israel and standing. I say with full conviction that India stands with Israel. All of this sucking up to Israel, and in the hope that the U.S.-India relations will improve. It was all backfired, really. India has become marginal. One phone call from Modi from Donald Trump as a courtesy call over this period. India playing absolutely no role at all on one of the most important wars of our time, you could say, in that sense. So Pakistan's stature has gone through the roof. Not only is the United States going to be benevolent, but so will the Gulf countries. So I think if Shehbaz Sharif is smart, he will cash in on this and try to make sure that some of the financial troubles that it has faced in recent terms will be resolved amicably because of its heightened diplomatic role. Plus, Pakistan's diplomatic role is not yet over. It will continue to be the mediator for this. And they're already talking about the final talk as Islamabad Accords. And if that really happens, and if that brand sticks, it will be uh, a massive for Shehbaz Sharif and Asim Munir, who have received so much criticism from their own citizens. Even now, a lot of the Pakistani diaspora is against the Pakistani government. They're kind of like the Iranian diaspora, and so they must be in two minds whether to celebrate the success of their country or to be disappointed by it because of the achievement and clearly the attention that Shehbaz Sharif and Asim Munir are getting must be a source of trouble for the Pakistani diaspora. But but there's more to this story. Pakistan has a defense pact with Saudi Arabia, and today the Iranians attacked Al Jubail, some very important infrastructure in Saudi Arabia, and it was looking as if the war was getting very serious, and it would have been increasingly difficult for Saudi Arabia to not take offensive action against Iran, and in the event that an all-out war between Saudi Arabia and Iran would break out, then Pakistan would have been forced to abandon its neutrality vis-a-vis Iran and then join Saudi Arabia in the war against Iran, and that would have also ended the possibility of Pakistan being a mediator. It would be now aligned indirectly with Israel. So it would be US, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan attacking Iran. And that would have been an optic that the Pakistani nightmare. It would destabilize Pakistan domestically and give a lot more impetus to the radical groups inside Pakistan and also perhaps inside Afghanistan. So for Pakistan, this is a great escape from this particular dilemma of what to do if Saudi Arabia goes to war with Iran. So in that sense, you could say that for Pakistan, this is a double win. It's not only that they brought about a ceasefire between the US and the Iranians, but they've also brought about a ceasefire between Saudi Arabia and the Iranians. But this is all contingent on Israel not attacking Iran at all during the period. Now, we will talk a little bit more about the final status talks, so what is going to happen going forward and what are the key issues, etc. I will continue to address those issues and I will elaborate them as we go along. But right now, let's enjoy this ceasefire. We were 2 minutes away from the end of civilization, as Donald Trump said, and thank God and congratulations to everybody. And so I will take your leave. I will probably come back again in a couple of hours to talk about this in further detail. Thank you for watching Conversations. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this with your social political network. Take care. Bye.